Welcome to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm excited to welcome the program PJ Byrne. Again, the world without you, PJ.
It happened. I was in basketball practice, and it happened, and the coach, got us all together, and it was 1/100th of that feeling when.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm excited to welcome the program PJ Byrne. Again, the world without you, PJ. How are you, man? Thanks for stopping by.
What's up, buddy? How you living?
I'm living okay. We're dealing with things. It's the pandemic. And when we talked about 6 kids and you have a newborn, you understand the pandemic's a different environment than getting to get out of the house.
It's great. Nick, you have 6 kids. It's blowing my mind that you have 6 children. I have 3, and I'm like, holy moly. You've doubled that. You've doubled me. You double me, dude.
Absolutely. And the thing is, that makes it the most amazing is I get at least to have my office at my mom's because I couldn't survive with online education for all the kids. That's the worst thing in the world. You can homeschool kids, but you can't allow a public system to control your kids. And the way they're doing online education now is a sad thing. The beginning of the pandemic, I liked it because it was more individualized instruction. Now they're just thinking they could teach all of them like they're sitting at a computer, regardless what age. It just doesn't work.
LAUSD, we have a pretty spectacular teacher. I have a daughter in the 2nd grade, and you wouldn't know the difference. This kid, she's the happiest kid. Her teacher, it feels like she's in the room with her. I can hear every conversation. She speaks to them like they're adults. They do their homework when school's over. I would have no idea if I didn't know she was sitting in front of a computer.
It probably does work well in certain grade levels, but that's, again, 2nd grade's a nice grade, right? They still have that compliance. Once 3rd grade and 4th grade, I can imagine the other grades and how they need to. I'm a former teacher, and and it's just not working.
I think everybody knows it's not ideal, but there's no solution. What's the solution?
Exactly. We're about to shut down in Pennsylvania now too. Again, they just came orders that we're going to go like to almost California's restrictions. So it's just going to be interesting the time, but we have to deal with that with coronavirus. Now, PJ, before we go into the film, I want to know what you think you're most known for your fans.
I have buddy. It spans the gamut. Any day I walk out of this door, well, in the last year, I walk out of the door. It can range anything from like the Legend of Korra to Wolf of Wall Street to now The Boys to The Game I used to do back in the day. Horrible Bosses. It's now and then Big Little Lies. I swear to God, it depends what demographic I'm near or around that people will relate to me. But a lot of heat lately, I guess, from the Legend of Korra because it went on Netflix and was like the top 10 show for
really. Legend.
I think it still might be the Legend of Korra.
Watch it. What is it called?
Yeah, the Legend of Korra. It's a cartoon and people lose their minds for it because it's so well done. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And you don't even see my face, but people know who I am. It's so wild. Wild.
And then you think about also a very interesting one, PJ, again, Final Destination 5.
Oh, yeah, I'll get that. I'll get some love there. I
forgot the first Final Destination. But what kind of character do they typecast you as, PJ, would you say?
Look, it's anything but the handsome guy. Let's just put it that way. It's anything but the good-looking dude. Everything else is free game. I'll kill you. I'll murder you. I'll be a jerk. I'll be your best buddy. I'll be the smartest guy. I'll be the dumbest guy. It runs the gamut. It's just I'm not the powerful. I don't look like Brad Pitt, so we're not competing for parts. Anybody else, watch out. I'm going to come get you.
What is your ideal character you want to play? And then we'll get into the film.
No, someone please put me in a war movie, in an army movie. Your dream of going, or like, put me in the future in space where I'm shooting a laser. Like that's my final frontier. I want to do like a crazy futuristic something, or like an army movie, or Air Force. Put me in a jet. And if it happens to be in space, we're here, happy to do it.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. What makes you want to do that?
I don't know. I think one because it's just like your fantasy as a kid to just to be like, oh, these very gritty, hardcore fighting films. Also like the movies that I watch that I escape on. I don't judge the acting, or it's not work or business to me to be like watching something. Is like I can like those big Marvel movies. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not watching acting, any of that. I'm just having a blast. I'm like, show me how you spend $300 million. That's what I want to see. Like, how are you going to do that? And I would love, I like when I'm in those movies. I've done movies, big movies like that are expensive, like the one with The Rock and all that. But um, there was no big gun shooting, which I think is great for that kind of movie. You don't want that. But when it's like this is clearly a war movie, like America versus blah blah blah
Exactly.
blah,
Okay. Okay.
1940s.
We'll make that in film at one point, PJ. I'm trying to expand my brand. Who knows? I've had those things, so
Yeah,
we'll have to talk once. Well, I want to be in a horror film. I'm a former professional wrestler, and I want to get killed. I've told Jason, like the one guy that played Jason Voorhees, or different people that said,
yeah,
"Dude, I wanna be in a horror film. I want to be in a horror flick, and I want to be one of those bad guys that gets killed or kills other people."
great. That's fantastic. I love that. I
I'm a
love that. Wait,
legitimate.
I didn't know you were a wrestler. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
You know
I'm
David
legit.
Arquette?
What'd you say?
Did
I
David
never made
Arquette?
it to David. No, I was before David in so many ways. I retired in 1999. I was young. I wrestled overseas in Germany. The Rock wore my knee pads before he was The Rock. I
Wow.
worked with the Headbangers room with me down south. So I was part of the business when the business was at its peak, the highest
Wow.
level. Now we're seeing it. I don't know where it's going. What happened
Right.
to professional wrestling? I wanted
Right.
to come back, and I have ideas of wanting to get back in the ring, and
Yeah.
it's I don't know.
I just want you to watch the David Arquette documentary. Like, You Cannot Kill David Arquette. I think you'd appreciate it.
Do you know David well?
I know him very well. And I think that
I'd love
documentary.
to interview David. I'd love to have a talk with him. You should, if you can ever try to hook that up. I'd love
Yeah.
to
Well, I
interview
know.
him.
Yeah, I know that. I don't mean I can't be his PR agent, but
No,
I think as someone who's a former wrestler, you would appreciate,
no,
especially the fact that you'd love to sort of like bang heads again a little bit. Part
yeah.
of you.
So
You'd appreciate
so
it.
I remember I watched some of that. That looks pretty interesting. I just never. I'll get my team to reach out. But you get an email. That's all I'd need, PJ. Trust me. I don't know if you saw my laundry list of celebrities. I have a pretty big, a
Oh, I
nice
love it.
resume.
And you also get everyone. You get, sports people. You get it all. You
Yeah.
run the gamut.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
I
it.
like being a variety show. I don't know if
I
that'll
love that
lead
you
to,
do that.
but I enjoy it, and I enjoy telling stories. No, I'm not making
That's why you have 6 kids. That's why you got 6 kids, God damn it, because you can handle it.
All right, so fun conversation so far. What we want to do, but let's talk about The World Without You, and kind of go into it for me. Okay.
I mean, it's an important film. Essentially, it's about a family coming together, dealing with a very devastating loss of one of the brothers who was killed in the Middle East. He was a reporter, and it's a year after that happened. And 3 daughters come home with to be with the mother and father and their significant others. I'm married to one of the daughters, and it's just dealing with the loss. It's dealing with who the family is. It's dealing with their interactions and what happens with a traumatic experience, how that can sort of unfortunately blow up a family.
And what's the problem with life after the family? What they deal with in the of loss of a loved one in the military? How do military families deal with this stuff?
It's brutal.
It's so brutal, and it's brutal, especially for military families that they've come home and now they're dealing with the pandemic. So it really makes you think more and more about military families, right? After doing this film.
Well, I think about military families all the time. My dad was in Army intelligence during Vietnam.
Wow.
There was always a part of me that wanted to do that, and I do remember, when I was in high school, I was a junior when it was Bush though, and we went into Iraq for like the 100-hour war. My mind was ready to like, we're all gonna get drafted and like, let's go. I was mentally completely fine with that. I remember that, and I remember when it happened. I was in basketball practice, and it happened, and the coach, got us all together, and it was 1/100th of that feeling when like different wars through time, but I was like, I was mentally prepared. I always loved like guys who went to these great colleges and said, I'm going to go, now do my duty, and I always felt obligated to do that. And half my family was in politics, so like I think about that quite a bit. And then it just sort of never happened. Like, oh, that war was 15 minutes. Like, no, but first of all, I don't know if I took my shirt off. You're like, I don't know if we want PJ helping us, but I felt a duty.
Maybe you'll direct a film like that someday.
I would love that. I would love that. But yeah, no, I think about it all the time. And you see it every day when parents come home and they see their kids and they surprise them, and it's and those families that don't get to have those surprises to come home to see their kids, or they're injured in war, and that's a totally completely different struggle, or PTSD, and things like Oxycontin that is like taken over. Like
Right.
I remember when I was I've just had my gallbladder out. I just remember something simple, and I know they gave me some version of like, and I didn't want to really take it, but they're like, well, just take it one night and see what happens. And all I remember thinking was like, I was dreaming, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be mayor this week, and then I'm gonna direct 4 movies in about a month and a half. I thought I could like conquer the world within a week, and so I can only imagine
Right.
if you're on that drug, and the come down must be like such a double, triple whammy. Like it's just brutal. So I'm glad we're like taking care of OxyContin. I think they're realizing what a debilitating, psychotic, and how addictive that drug is, and they're changing the ways now.
Do you think when you talk about, the families dealing with a loss like that, how do they deal with it in this film without giving everything away?
Well, I think first of all, when you're with families, that's why I like doing playing characters with families, because and you know this probably better than anyone, like with your 6 kids.
Do as an actor. I'm sure your wife is like, 3 kids, and you got to go out. And thank goodness for the pandemic, or you'd be out. When you shoot, you're away from people for a long.
Oh yeah, no, God bless my wife. She's amazing. I mean, I swear I say it all the time, like the best wife in the world, and she's like this tough Italian girl from Waterbury, Connecticut. This blue collar town. So they have such a great
He's not in
appreciation.
the acting biz at all, right?
No, she's not at all, but she has such a great appreciation for work ethic and work, and we don't. And on another side, she's an event planner for nonprofits, so she like helps raise money with people with Lou Gehrig's disease, for the MDA Forever, and City of Hope, and all these, and Ronald McDonald, and all these great organizations, and Camp Ronald McDonald. But life is there's people that work to live and live to work, and you got to find that balance. And she never there's no judging, there's no competition, there's no like, oh, you have to work, we're a team, we're here to help each other. I'm very lucky that way. And there's no like, where are you? You didn't do this, I'm home alone, and blah blah, blah. It's never once. It's like, oh, you have to work, we're going to figure out how daddy goes to work, and you're going to figure out when mommy has to go to work to raise money for whoever. So we're a very good team. I don't know where this question was started.
Talking about families, but I think we've really.
The thing with families about movies. Yeah. So
we're sounding like maybe I'm ready for a late show, right? To talk and just BS with somebody, right?
Yeah, we're going to do it together. We're going to have our own late show together. It's going to be great. A lot of cocaine, though. A lot of cocaine. It's just going to snow at home everywhere.
We definitely. Okay, so your character, how did you prepare for this character?
Well, again, the cocaine, oxycodone, all that stuff. No, this character, my character is very aggressive, and I think I remember your original question. It's just like, the good thing of how do families deal with loss and pain and all that. And I always like doing family members or playing brothers, and this is what I was saying. You would know this as a father of 6 is when you're interacting with your family, you can go from 0 to 10 like seamlessly.
In 2
There's
seconds.
no warm up, massaging, any of that. So that's my character is like that with his wife and his kids, and I like playing those guys because there's no like, it's just like, let's bang, let's just really to go. I know, and that's so when you're trying to uncover and work yourself through pain, sadly a lot of the times in life it's not great, but for an acting choices it makes it for very interesting moments. But first you're dealing with each other's problems, and it's not really about each other's problems. It's really about the loss and your anger, and you start taking it out on each other. And that's where this movie lives.
Latest projects coming up now. Now you're very known, I'd say right now, for some really cult-like stuff, right? Would you say, PG? You talked about the cartoon, but something else I saw out there that people just love of you, right?
Yeah, what else are people loving? I don't know. The Boys? I don't know. What are they love?
I don't know. I'm losing track. But what's up? What's coming up next for you, PJ?
I'm doing Never Have I Ever. I'm gonna do these 2. I'll be on All Rise this week. I'm gonna do this thing for Amazon called Them Covenant. That's almost done shooting. That we got shut down. But yeah, I reoccur a lot on Never Have I Ever, a Netflix show. And then I'm going to go back and do The Boys. And then what else is coming out? And then
I
there's
think
movies.
the boys. I think the boys is the cult, like I was referring to.
Yeah, they just got the #1 show on IMDb right now. Apparently, they were the most watched or big fan favorite or something.
So are you doing any of those Comic Cons yet, or those cons of?
I've done those before. Yes, I have. I've done those before. Yes, they're a blast. But this year, it's people are doing
Virtual
Zoom.
ones are some people are trying to do, but what do you think of that now with the whole virtual fan experience?
I mean, as much as I mean, look, it's nothing's the same as sort of being there, and hopefully we'll get back to that sooner rather than later. But as long as you're connecting with the fans and in some way, everyone seems to be pretty happy about it. I don't know. It's like we're all just trying to pivot. Everybody's pivoting. So
that's what I've done online, my businesses and everything is pivot. Yeah. I wasn't doing the TV thing, except it was going to radio and going to the TV station and everything. But I changed all that up because I like to have these faces like you saw, and you Googled me with Brett Favre or with me, Terrell Davis, or wherever, all these people. I had those people face to face where I'm interviewing them. That's powerful because not many people get that opportunity. And once the pandemic's over, I don't know if we'll ever get that opportunity again, but it might, because I think everyone's getting so used to Zoom that they rather have video and audio of different interviews. But we'll see. We'll see what's happening. So what would you say to your fans right now, PJ, struggling through this pandemic, especially the next challenges? What do you want to tell them?
I mean, it's what you tell everybody. You got to keep your head above water. This too shall end. Don't make everything so precious and a big deal. Take things with a grain of salt. Every day when you wake up, try to appreciate what are the good things in your life. Try to go outside. Don't stay inside all the time. I know it's more, when it's really cold, but like take a walk, stay away from people, but like break up the everyday environment as much as you can. And then, I will say this, when you're with your family, we're never going to be together this much again. I promise you. So I got a baby.
Your promise there's not going to be another pandemic after this 2 years later.
We're going to believe in science again. I think we're going to have tentacles of America back out in the world like we used to have. I think we're going to have pandemic plans. I think we're not going to deny what's going on, and I think we're going to be able to handle any disease coming at us properly now. If we keep people in office, we pay for the proper health organizations within America, and we keep our tentacles out into the world like we used to, so we know what's coming and we can prepare for it.
All right, PJ, we've talked about everything, and the movie is available right now anywhere, right? We can go different digital streaming platform.
Yeah. You want to put it on your phone, or you want to, virtual reality in your eye, in your left eye. Get it. You can do it there.
And PJ, do you ever think about doing comedy? It seems like you're a comedy guy too.
Never done it. Never did it. Well, I've actually never done stand-up comedy, if that's where you're going to go.
I think you should do stand-up.
Well, Neil, if you do it, let's go. What are we doing? Come on, Neil. Get the kids out there. PJ
going on TikTok. Why don't you go on TikTok, PJ, with your kids?
I know I haven't done that yet. I'm behind.
Crazy, man. It's crazy, and it's such an opportunity platform. Yet it's so awful for kids.
They're not on it. I don't know what you're talking. I mean, I know it exists, but they're not on it. So
you're good. You're smart. It's hard in the pandemic to monitor our kids on TikTok. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, believe me, they're getting enough screen time on Netflix, their own. So, oh my God. Okay.
So you got that plug for Netflix. All right, PJ, best place we can connect with you, follow you on social media and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. On Instagram, PJ_Byrne, Byrne. And it's the same thing for Twitter, PJ_Byrne.
All right.
And I love you, Neil. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. All right. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and I appreciate you coming by. Take care.